Hey guys, James Sain here. So this is a follow-up video to my last as it relates to using the Parrot Teleprompter app, but not in the way it was intended. The Parrot Teleprompter setup and the app is great for using a DSLR that is close and you can read off the reflected text with the adapter that attaches to the front of your lens. Now, my last video was not about shooting with a DSLR, but with an iPhone and still using the Parrot app. And if you want to see that, I'll leave a link on the screen now, as well as in the video description below. Now, this video is about how to set up using a DSLR, but not using the iPhone as the teleprompter, but the much larger iPad as the teleprompter. So, why would you want to do this? Well, for one, the 12-inch iPad text is so much easier to read. Also, in bright light, I want to use a neutral density filter. So, with the Parrot Teleprompter Padcaster mounted to the front of the lens, it prevents me from using a neutral density filter. So those are two big reasons for not being mounted directly onto the front of the lens. One, the neutral density filter or polarizing filter is a challenge. I haven't figured out how to do it. Two, it's much easier to read off the larger iPad. So the challenge is to have it seem as if the talking head, me in this case, is looking directly into the camera lens. Again, I've experimented with different angles and focal lengths. And I found what works best is the longer focal lengths within reason. A minimum of a 50mm lens works best. The 18 and 24mm lens, it just accentuates that the reader's looking off the screen. Right now is an example of using the Sigma Art 18-35 set at 35mm lens. And this is shot on a Canon 90D, which has a crop factor of 1.6, effectively making this a 56mm lens. That's if you're old school and have that particular frame of reference. I'll start placing on the screen if I'm recording with a 35mm lens or the Canon 85mm lens. Each one has a particular look to it. The 85mm lens has a narrow range of view, but the camera is pretty far away from me. Now, I'm usually shooting these videos solo, and while my wife is often around, like now, I don't want to ask her to start recording, stop recording, etc. So I think the 85mm lens probably looks like I'm looking directly into the camera the best, but I think the 35mm is a very close second. Additionally, the most realistic look is achieved by having the iPad just directly underneath the lens. Above and to the side, it looked as if I was just looking off camera. Now, I'll have to experiment more with the various focal lengths to see which one I will ultimately lean towards. Now, as I said in my previous video, I don't use the teleprompter all the time, maybe 40% of the time, but it does help with sounding coherent, succinct, and a little more polished. Plus, I'm on call and I can't put my phone on silent and use it as a teleprompter only, which means when I'm trying to use it as a teleprompter, text messages and notifications are popping up on my phone when trying to read off of it. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. It would help my channel. And if you found the information helpful or useful, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, remember to turn on notifications so that you don't miss when the next video comes out. All right, guys, thanks so much. We'll see you in the next video.